Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about commuting through the Massey Tunnel, specifically going southbound in the morning and coming northbound in the afternoon, which is against rush hour traffic. But that's all I know because that's what I do. The tunnel is a unique piece of driving infrastructure. The rules around it are more based on etiquette than law. For a source on what I'm going to be talking about, you can actually go to the Richmond City website and look at traffic, and it'll tell you some interesting details. For those of us who drive this regularly, I'm not going to say anything new. For those of us who don't, there are a couple of things that you should know. So first of all, I'm making the approach in the left lane. The most important thing, there are two important things when dealing with the tunnel. First of all, is to suppress an instinct or two on the way, and second of all is to be reasonable and rational. Most people do, and most people are. When I talk about suppressing instinct, I'm talking about the instinct to get into the right lane as soon as you see the yellow arrow. What's unique about this commute is the counterflow lane. Coming up, we'll see we have the congestion ahead warning lights. We have the new LCD digital warning light, congestion ahead, next 1 kilometer. And then after that, we have the yellow arrows. Now, the yellow arrows are essentially the beginning of a merge lane. When one gets to this point and sees the yellow arrows, if the left lane is empty all the way up, traffic is light enough that it's probably a good idea to get into the right lane now. And that's the case today. When one gets to the yellow arrows, if traffic in the left lane is backed up, as well as traffic in the right lane, the smart thing to do is to stay in the left lane. Now, I'm not crazy on this one. This is apparently based in science, and to understand it, I defer again to the City of Richmond and their website. They use the explanation that they use is this: if both lanes wait until the merge point and merge at or as close to the merge point as possible in a one after the other fashion, alternating, taking turns, so that if you were above looking down, it would look like a zipper, the teeth of a zipper coming together. If people were to do things that way consistently, then 15% more traffic would flow past a given point, in this case the merge point, at any given time. So the Richmond scientists, they crunched the numbers and they figured out that if you wait until the merge point and merge one after the other, then 15% more traffic will go through. So the yellow lights indicate the merge lane. You can see in the upper left there is the red X. The yellow arrows are akin to a dotted line on the merge lane. The red X is pretty clearly a closed lane. So that is the merge point. So instinct, again, the instinct for the uninitiated is to see the congestion ahead sign and get into the middle lane as soon as possible. Well, if you're naturally driving in the left lane and you do that, you are essentially slowing everybody down by about 15%. If you naturally drive in the right lane, then it only makes sense that you stay there. But if you naturally drive in the left lane, if you are going faster than the flow of traffic, then it makes sense to stay in the left lane. And again, the science behind it, brought to us by the City of Richmond, is that when we merge in an orderly fashion, at the merge point, we merge more effectively and we merge faster. So this is the slowdown before the tunnel, the first slowdown. And the uninitiated may be surprised when they get under... Oh, yeah, I'm not going to name that overpass because, that's actually... no, okay, that's Westminster. That's not... There is an alternate route, but I'm not going to talk about it here because it gets you past the backup entirely, through Richmond, and down to Steveston. That's Steveston overhead. Now, the uninitiated are rudely surprised here when they realize that they have to go through this again when Steveston merges up ahead here. And the same rules apply. In this case, it's actually a merge lane. It's a little bit more clear. And we will see in practice that there are drivers whose instinct when they come around the corner is to get out of the right lane and emerge right away. That is the instinct that you are to suppress. Admittedly, it's a little bit more difficult for the people merging off of Steveston because they're merging on a turn, and that's actually pretty intimidating. At this point, when things get slow, I turn on my Michael Thomas, learn how to speak Italian, and the guy in the blue Jeep.
Non potremo farlo.
Non potremo farlo.
If you
so
want
if
to
you see me
we
talking to myself,
would
that's what's going
be
on.
able. For we would.
Okay, hang on. So at this point, you're looking ahead to see if the people in the front of the right-hand lane there, if they're merging. This little Toyota Camry, you can just make him out on the right. I'm thinking he's probably going to merge in front of me. That Mazda CX-7 should be merging in front of the F-150 in front of me. And there's a Focus merging in front of the car in front of the Ford here. Okay, there we go. The CX-7 makes the merge. If the Toyota is a reasonable driver, he's not going to try and get ahead of the truck. There we have a textbook taking turns, zipper fashion merge. So that's the tunnel, southbound, when the counterflow's in. It's unique, and when done correctly, it's pretty effective. Now, if someone can tell me why it is in the last 2 months, since January, traffic has been a dream along here, I'd love to know, because it's a big change. I don't know what's going on, but I travel at the same time every day, and traffic has been half to a third what it normally is. That is the length of the lineup leading up to the tunnel has been half to a third the length that it normally is. So I don't know what's going on there. If you have any questions, comment in the comments box. Thanks for hanging out.